Alright guys, let's talk about property tax. I have a friend, right? And this is the reason why I don't want to buy. At least not yet. You know, once I'm done for my company, working for my company, I'll move to a tax-friendly state. And then I'll buy a house. Probably. But in New York, right? Property tax? Oh my God. It's crazy. You get places, no lie, and this is probably average, $12,000 a year in property tax, right? Let's use that number. I've seen 16,000, I've seen 13, 14,000. Let's use 12,000, right? Now you get a mortgage, you're paying the mortgage, and then you're paying the property tax. Now let's say you lived there for 30 years and the mortgage is done, right? Or let's say you got it, inherited a property. Regardless, you own the property, right? But you don't really own it. Because guess what? You still paying rent. Because technically, the town, the city, the state owns that land. Because the minute you stop paying those taxes, aka rent, they're gonna repossess the property. So in theory, you don't really own the property. So why buy a house if I can't own it? You see, I refuse to buy a house in New York State, pay $12,000 a year taxes, and then finally after 30 years, I own the property, quote unquote. Then I have to pay the taxes still. $12,000 a year property tax, that's $1,000 a month. If I retire, I mean, I don't know how much the check will be for retirement, Social Security and everything, but it's like $1,000 you're still paying a month. That is rent. There's probably rent cheaper than that. My little apartment is cheaper than that right now. So you gotta understand something. It's crazy if you think about it. You're still paying rent. Like, you don't really own that. When you could say, you know what, I pay it off, I'm gonna shut down the heat, everything. You see, you don't pay heat, they'll turn off the heat, but you still live there. You don't pay electric bill, they'll turn off the electric bill, but you still live there. Water? I guess it depends on the thing. I don't know if the town have to have water, or they just run up the bill. They'll part repossess the property if you don't pay water tax bill, whatever the case is. But then you got some properties where they have what's called well water. So in theory, I mean, if you don't pay electric, I guess the electric pump to bring up the water won't work. But what I'm saying is that they can't repossess the house. But taxes, the minute you don't pay those taxes, they'll let it pile up a little bit. Eventually, they're gonna get their money back by repossessing the house, and that's it. And they could do it. So you don't really own the land. You don't really own the property. In theory. That's why taxes, it's evil. It's evil. Simple. So if I ever think about buying a house, it's not gonna be where it's $12,000 a year. It's gonna be one of those states where it's less than $1,000 a year. I've seen it. So I don't know. It's a ripoff. It's a scam, and they get away with it. Why? Because people want to buy. The minute people stop buying and all right, take that property. All right, you know what? Take the property. Go ahead. And they, you know, no one wants to buy it from them, no matter how low it is, because they don't want to pay taxes. Look, it's not gonna happen. It's a waste of time even talking about it. But it's an evil thing, and when you get people like me who's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I refuse to pay $16,000, $17,000. I mean, I've seen these properties, and it's not like it's a mansion, because I get it. If it's a mansion, you're obviously gonna pay more, right? You talking about these are average homes that look. There's this place in New York, Mount Vernon. It was a attached home and it was $13,000 a year in property tax. It was an attached home. You buying one part of it, and it's weird. It's like a townhome, and it's like little acreage and land, and the houses are bunched up together, and they want $13,000 a year. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. Then I saw houses in Florida, down south, where it's like, oh, it's like $800 a year, or like 13 or something like that. It was crazy. Look, kudos to you if you buy a house in New York. I refuse to give any more taxes other than what they come out my check, unfortunately, and what I have to pay in sales tax when I buy something. I'm the type of person where I drive 15 minutes out the long way to go avoid the tolls. So, I don't know. Anyway, tell me what you think. Do you agree with me? Obviously, you probably do. Leave a comment, like and share. Leave a comment. Tell me how much you pay in taxes. I want to know what's the most people pay, what's the lowest. What state is the most tax friendly when it comes to property? Thanks for watching. Good night.